Bob, how many times have you been riding up to VIW at this point about this subject?
This is the third time. I had hoped to have gone 4 weeks in a row, but I had to miss it last week because of my dad's 84th birthday.
And just real briefly, can you bring us up to date on what is happening up at General Dynamics VIW today?
Well, this is a yearly Lenten vigil that a group called the Smiling Tree Disarmament Farm from up, I believe it's in Hope. It's a Catholic workers group, have been putting on a Lenten vigil for about 15 years. And so they do this every Lent, starts on Ash Wednesday, that first Saturday after Ash Wednesday, and they are there from 11 to 12:30. They greet the workers as they come out of a shift that's ending up at Bath Iron Works, and the request is to engage peacefully, non-violently, and the hope is that they will literally move to changing from swords to plowshares, as the Bible says, and to pivot Bath Iron Works' destructive activities to more peaceful means.
So this LD-1781.
Yep.
What are we looking at in terms of what can the people do? The people watching this, can they talk to their representatives?
They need to talk to their representatives because unfortunately they're largely not listening. We have had some notable successes, including reducing the original ask from General Dynamics of a $60 million tax refund from the state, now down to 45. But that took 4 working sessions of the taxation committee. That could change in an instant. We want it to change to 0. There's no need for the taxpayers of Maine, who've already paid for a federal defense program through their tax dollars for all of these contracts, to then turn around and pay again. So that is also the connection to this Lenten vigil today, is that those of us who are opposed to 1781 are also joining to say no to this bill, this corporate welfare bill, which is just completely unacceptable. And so to go back to your question, we really need people to take on their legislators with this. This is a bill that is co-sponsored by all the leadership of both the Republicans and the Democrats. It's really obscene how people have fallen in the line behind these corporations. So yes, contacting your legislators is essential.
So we're clearly on the roadside. You're just about to get on the road.
Yep.
How long? It's 25 degrees out here.
It's a little chilly.
How long is your ride?
It's 3.5 hours. It's 39 miles according to the map. It was a little longer 2 weeks ago because it was right in the it was after one of our nor'easters, and I was biking right into a 20+ mile per hour headwind. And I also there's a reference from one of the BIW executives who was dismissive of Bruce Gagnon, who's really stepped up as the voice of this campaign. He was dismissed by the BIW vice president as being a one-man band. So there is a much bigger orchestra that is stepping up to this. So I have my harmonica, which actually plays itself better than I do when the headwind is blowing into it. And I don't have it this time, but last time I had a drum on the back of my bike. So I was helping to support the band. So riding with all that into a headwind it took a little longer, closer to 4 hours, but it was a good ride, and I'm looking forward to it today.
All right. All right. Bruce, tell me how you're doing.
Well, I'm holding up pretty well. I think that I got good medical. Mr. Bob Klotz is keeping an eye on me, and a couple other nurse friends are watching over me, so I think I'm doing all right.
What's the first thing that people need to know about the reason you're fasting?
The kids. The thing that has me the most is the kids. 43,000 kids living in poverty. Half of those are deep poverty, which means they're going hungry at night. A lot of them are homeless. That drives me nuts. So it really motivates me very strongly to the idea that General Dynamics, who is floating in money, selling back, or buying back rather, their $14.4 billion of their own stock since 2009, Their CEO made $21 million in 2016.
How much has the state of Maine given them so far? I lost track.
Over $200 million from the state and from Bath, the city of Bath.
From the city of Bath.
Since 1997. And
so this is a double, triple taxation. I mean, how many times can a Mainer get taxed? Is this what it seems like?
And they're hitting up Connecticut for $150 million. They just got $20 million from Rhode Island, and it's crazy. So we're finding that it's not just quote unquote people on the left that are against this. We're finding that there's a lot of conservatives, libertarians, that think this is crazy.
Because they should be. This is exactly you would think that they would be the first ones to y'all follow on this. I think. I'd try to think of the libertarian point of view would be.
It's gangster capitalism. And but right now we're probably with a week to 10 days, 2 weeks at the most, I think, before they vote on this in the legislature. And so we really need everybody now to contact their state legislators, because we're starting to hear that there's some growing numbers of Republicans in Augusta that want to vote against it, and also more Democrats that want to vote against it. So if people can encourage some of these fence sitters, and there are a couple of issues that these fence sitters talk about. One is, we got to give the money for training because there's a whole new generation of young people coming in to BIW, and they have to be trained. Well, that's true. But the money is in the contract already that General Dynamics signs with the Navy. The money is in the contract for training. I just, a couple days ago in Augusta, ran into one of the guy that used to be the tax man for BIW years ago. He's an expert on all this stuff. And he told me that, yes, indeed, the money is in the contract. In addition, another thing in the contract with the Navy is all of the taxes that General Dynamics pays to the state of Maine. It's in the contract. They get reimbursed for that. So they are double dipping, triple dipping, quadruple dipping. And if we let them get away with it, we're crazy.
That's right. So what did I hear about the union at BIW? The BIW union, where are they on this?
The largest, there are 4 unions there.
Okay.
The largest union, and I got to remember there's 5,500 workers altogether, and the S6 union, it's a machinist, they represent about 3,500 of them. So they're the largest union. They had a general meeting. One of the workers had seen the Ballard story, Ship of Fools, and he was sharing it around the yard, creating a lot of debate. And so they organized a meeting. Should we endorse the bill or not? 100 workers turned out, 50-50. They decided we're not endorsing the bill.
Right, because they don't have a majority.
They're split.
Right.
They're split, which means across the yard that there's significant opposition. And I saw this for the first 2 weeks when I started the hunger strike. I was going down there at noon and 3:30 at shift change. Especially at noon, I had a chance to talk to a lot of workers. And I was hearing from quite a few people that they were opposed to it. Largely because in the last contract negotiations, General Dynamics squeezed them hard. No pay raises for 4 years. Give-backs on pension and give-backs on health care. And so they're really angry about that. And so they understand that General Dynamics doesn't need the money.
Right. And it's not benefiting them. How is it benefiting them? Yes. So, okay.
Right.
Fair enough. People that are seeing this, what can they do? What is it that we can do?
Go to the Maine state legislature website. There's a way on there to find your legislature by town. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know who it is, you can easily do that. Send them a message today. Please don't wait. Don't put it off. Do it immediately or call them. or you run into them, say something to them, and write a letter to the editor of your local paper, either a weekly or a daily. Let them know how you feel about this. And get some friends to also contact their legislator. Don't just do it yourself, but get friends, neighbors, relatives, whatever, co-workers. Stir it up a bit. Rattle your chains. Let's make some noise and stop this thing.
You're really radical. Bring it up at the bank line, at the grocery line.
Yeah.
At the, because none of us.
We got a chance to save the people of Maine $60 million. Think about it. And if we each throw in, do our bit, we can really have some impact here. Let's make it happen.
Thank you so much.
And frankly, the Portland area is important because your delegation out of the Portland area is powerful in Augusta. We need a solid no from the Portland delegation. Please make it happen.
Absolutely, yes. That's a great point, because Portland gets squeezed out of the things coming out of Augusta as it is. So it's very important that they don't get squeezed again, because it would be everybody in Maine getting it. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Thank you.
All right. Good work.
All right.
All right. Thanks so much.